highest point total by a Big East player this season. Kemba Walker had 42.
Just 1998, 91,
91 was 48 by Murdo.
Thanks.
I think I knew coming into the game that we had our hands full, playing against, the hottest team in the Big East and one of the hottest in the country, and knew with their talent, if they knocked down shots against us from the perimeter, we were going to be in for a long night. And so I felt pretty good at halftime that the game was still in reach, even though they seemed to knock down, every open look that they had. And so when we were able to come back in the second half, it didn't surprise me because I thought we were playing at a pretty high level, and obviously behind Marshawn Brooks' offensive effort, and then getting 10 rebounds as well. He single-handedly kept us in the game during that stretch, and we were able to make sure he got the ball.
Talk about Brooks' offensive effort, despite them forcing him left, despite them going zone, he was able to rise over defenders, get offensive rebounds, putbacks, and he just was irrepressible.
I think it shows a lot about the character of Marshawn Brooks, that over his 4 years at Providence, that he's developed into such a complete player. I don't know he's better going left or right. I don't know how I would play him. We posted him up in games. He can score in a lot of different ways, and then getting the free throw line as well. So, it just shows that hard work, combined with talent, and if you have some patience throughout your time, you can accomplish great things.
Late in the game, obviously did something different today. They had Marshawn at the top a little more often than earlier in the season, and yet in some late possessions, he was down in the corner next to you like maybe 2 times. Do you think he was getting tired? Do you have a sense that he might have?
No, we had him up at the top against their man-to-man defense. At least when we thought they were playing man-to-man. We might have messed up a couple times, but against their zone, we were trying to overload and get him the ball down in the corner. Then again, I'm sure he was tired too, but that was a coaching move to see if we could get him some open looks, down against their, their post players versus their guards.
At the other extreme, Vincent has an off night, Gerard has an off night. I guess, Marshawn almost carried you all the way along with Monday, but it was almost too much. You needed some help somewhere else, right?
We did. I think there's a great future for this team, because in games where we have guys have off nights, or in games where the other team knocks down a lot of shots, or whatever it is, we've been able to stay in those games. And I kind of thought going into this season in a rebuilding year that if we had those kind of discrepancies, we would just get beat and we wouldn't be able to win. You can't have guys have really poor nights shooting the ball, or your guys not be able to rebound, or the other team get hot against you. But in those games, pretty much all of our games this year have gone down to the wire. There's been an exception or two, but we play extremely hard, and I think that shows a great future for our program.
Talk about the play of your bigs. So were you pleased with their play overall?
I think so. I mean, it'll be one of those things where I kind of have to go back and watch the tape and see exactly what they were able to do. But I think that they're so young, as starting a freshman and sophomore on the inside, and then Ray Hall coming off of a serious injury, giving us some minutes in there, that we're not as experienced or deep as I would like. But they give everything they've got, and I think that their future's pretty bright. It just, sometimes they have more growing pains where they're not as consistent, just because they haven't developed, over the time that some of the more experienced post players in this league have been able to do.
Coach, how tough is it to expend that much energy? I think you're down 16 early in that second half. His free throws cut it to 1 with 6 seconds to go. I mean, it's anybody's game at that point. How tough is that on a club to try to get over the hump when you're doing that?
Well, it's tough. It's one of those things where, if we had a chance late in that game to win it versus tie it, I think we would have gone for the win. Just because we were running out of gas. And I think our guys, were able to knock down enough clutch shots to keep us in there. But, I give them a lot of credit for being down that amount. And earlier in the season, if we had gotten down 15, 16 points, I don't think we would have been able to come back and have a chance to win at the end.
What was the key to coming back besides obviously Marshawn Brooks?
I think the key was to stay patient defensively. that they had shot so well in the first half that we couldn't get out and play differently, and all of a sudden have it a layup drill on the other end. That we had to, say, okay, well, they made some tough shots against us. Let's stay with what we're going to do and stay with the game plan. And if we're able to knock down some shots, we had missed, our share of free throws there in the first half and in the second half as well. That, we'd have a chance down the end, and that it seemed like when we called a timeout there with 12 minutes or so, it seemed like there was an eternity left. That the way the game was being played, that if we could get on a run and knock down some shots and try to use some of our pressure defense, which I think helped us as well, that we could get some momentum.
Coach, was it hard not having like a timeout those final few minutes in the game?
I would have loved to purchase a couple more timeouts. I think what happened was that there was a couple stretches in the second half where I just felt like the game was going to get away from us, and that I needed to settle our guys down and use the timeouts and then hope it didn't come back in the end, to hurt us. Sure, I would have liked those timeouts and line up exactly what we wanted to do offensively, but for the most part, they made the right decision, and sometimes the shot just didn't go in for us.
Questions for Marshawn? We're going to get Marshawn.
Thank you.
Sure.
Marshawn, at the end there, were you actually injured on that final play, or was that just,
No,
you're just...
no, I'm serious. I got kind of woozy. Fell on top of my head. I lost my brother.
Did you lose your balance, or did they poke it? No,
It was a lot of them. I was gonna try to. I looked up initially and I saw dude, somebody creeping behind dude. That's all I remember. And I think I got a piece of the ball. And I hit the ground.
Do you think they forced you left second half?
I'm actually more comfortable going left. So it don't really matter to me. I feel like when I go left, it's easy for me to pull up.
Could you tell right away that you were going to have a big game? It seems as if you got off to a very good
I
start.
made my first 3 shots.
Yeah.
I guess it's 43 is something you dream about doing, but when the team doesn't win, must be mixed feelings.
Yeah, it would have been great if we would have got the win, but I think we fought hard all the way to the end. We got down to 16. I mean, they were up 16, 12 at the half. They was hitting everything at halftime. We just stayed with our game plan, stayed patient, like Coach said. Their team gets a lot of backdoor cuts, so our game plan was to go into all screens, and they were just stepping back, knocking down shots. And I think the difference in the first half and the second half was the first half they shot well from 51%, well, 53%, and then they missed all 11 in the second half. That's why we were able to make our run.
They tried different players on you. They tried different zone versus man. You were still able to get your shots off and make them. What was the key to that? Were you just in the zone today?
It was one of those nights. I was just trying to get where I want. When Chris Wright was on me, I was just thinking, I'm gonna get where I want to get and just try to raise up. And then when the big guys on me, I was trying to take them off the dribble. So.
Did you, what I asked Keno before about you had the ball at the top, kind of playing point, clear out a little bit. You guys did that more than you haven't had all season long. Any particular reason?
Honestly, I think it was because Vince was struggling a little bit. And, we get struggling, confidence goes down, and I was playing so well. Just wanted to get the ball in my hands because when I went on the wing, they weren't really letting me catch the ball in the scoring area anyway, so I might as well just brought it down and just try to work from there.
You said there were probably 3 possessions in the last 5 minutes where you didn't touch it at all.
It works like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Marshawn, this is a game that, like Coach said, maybe earlier in the year, if you're down 16 or whatever, you don't get as close as you did today. Can you take anything out of this going forward now?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're growing. That shows that we're growing. They came in here and played 13 team in the nation, very, very tough. And we just got to keep competing. We got to keep competing. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. We just got to keep competing on the road. We're here by ourselves. Just keep competing, playing hard. I think we beat them to loose balls in the second half, things like that. All the energy plays that Big Ray brought. They played a lot better defense in the second half. We didn't turn it over here and there. We won the game.
How frustrating is it to put up so many numbers all season long and still be on the back end of the score sometimes?
I wouldn't say it's frustrating because we're such a young team, man. It's tough to win this league with one senior playing a lot of minutes. And I can't feel sorry, man. I just got to keep playing.
Okay, we got to get Marshawn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.